Today I will be telling you everything you need to know about weeds and to show you which method or which weeder is the best in the game. Okay, now that we know herbicides are not bad for your yield, they don't hurt it at all, we need to test out which weeder is actually best then. If you guys didn't see the video where we tested the herbicide on the if it had a yield penalty, I'll leave that down in the pinned comments for you. But otherwise, we're going to test the 3 different types of weeders right now. And also, too, we're going to be talking about the plowing method later in the video, too, as well. So stick around for that. We are going to get started by talking about what equipment we're using here. So if you go into weeders right here, there are 3 different types. There are just regular weeders, and as you can see, these are all regular weeders here except for this one, which we do have, and that is a Weeder Hoe, and that is generally kind of a mid-growth stage usage that you can use it at. And then also, if you look over here, in crop protection, we have the bigger sprayer right here. They do the exact same things as the sprayer category right here, just a bigger version of it. So as we get started here, one thing to let you guys know about weeders in general, you guys are going to see here, we're going to talk about a few things. But first of all, most people don't even, I don't think, realize you can weed with every very type on the very first part. So if you guys see here, we have a 100% yield and fertilized field right here that we're going to be using today. I have created a save point right here. So every time we test the field, we can go to the next growth stage and test it with a clean field. So for example, you can see it says it needs a weeder. So we can go here with this guy, and we're gonna lower the weeder, and we're just gonna pull ahead on the growth stage here. This is right after you plant instantly. This was just planted. So you see up here it needs weed, or it needs a weeder. Back here behind it won't. All right. So now we got to actually pull this guy off to the side because we are going to be using that big guy here in a second. Let's pull this guy over here, and then let's get into the hoe. This is the one that is considered the Weeder Hoe, and as you can see in front, it needs weeds. It needs the weeder, and the Weeder Hoe can do the job. So we are going to go ahead and pull forward. Just do a little bit here, and you're gonna see up here it says weeder. Back here it says it doesn't need it anymore, and the yield bonus on all of these is gonna remain at 100. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way. And for example, I saved the big guy for last because he can do the whole field. So way down here, we haven't touched any weeds, so we're just going to go ahead and turn this guy on and go right down, as you can see here. And we'll pop out right about here. And we can see up here it says we need a weeder. Way back here, it says we don't. So all 3 work right away in the first stages, guys. I want that to be known very clear. Since we know that they all have the 100 yield bonus too, there are some other things to test, and I will talk about that as we get into the next growth stages. Okay, again, now we're in April, into the first growth stage of oats. And by the way, I have chosen oats because they take the less amount of time to advance to the quickest growing crop. So let's go ahead and lower the weeder, and we need to raise that weight. I don't know how it got lowered. Okay, but anyway, here you guys can see once again we're gonna have the same outcome. I'm gonna just do the first two quick. We'll pull this off to the side, and then we'll take a look at both of them just to save you guys a little bit of time. And there is going to be a definitive answer here at the end, guys, for you too. Just so you guys know, this is not going to be a tie. They're not all created equal. And you're going to find out why here in a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, we've done both of them. And you can see it does not need no weeds over here. And over here, it probably doesn't say it too. Yeah, see? Oh, as we get into the field, there we go. Sometimes the corners act funny, but yeah, as you can see here, neither one of them need a feeder, or a weeder. So as we get out here to where the weeds still are, we're gonna hop into the big guy, just to show this guy off here, just that he can also weed during this stage as well. A lot of people don't know that they can be used in most of the stages here. So now as you can see, clearly you can see the weeds disappearing behind him. So now we are going to go back and reset and then go into May. Okay, and now this is very important as we're into the May and to farther into the next growth stage. As you can see, we have lost some yield because of weeds here, guys. So this is why you want to do your weeding early on and don't wait for it. And as you can see now, it is saying we need to use herbicide. But as you guys could tell before, that does not necessarily matter. So we are going to go ahead and lower the weeder. And then we are going to check and see if it still needs to be weeded. We're going to pull that off to the side like we did last time. And then we are going to go ahead and switch over to the hoe. Alright, and we are going to do a little bit and then pull off to the side again. Just like that. Now as you can see over here, as you can see, the weeds, because it wanted herbicide, these two weeders will not work anymore. That whole weeder, and as you come over here, you'll find that this weeder did not work either, because we were farther later into the growth stage. Now, we're going to get into this big guy right here, and we are going to turn on the herbicide sprayer. And as you can see, you can see it already clearly taking out the weeds. But just so you can see, you see right there, it says it's weeds. Back here, it is doesn't need the weeds, and you can see it's regained some of its yield bonus, not all of it, but some of it. So that's why you want to do your weeding early. Now we're going to do the same thing in June. Okay, now in June, as you can see, we are in the last growth stage before harvest on oats. So this is the third stage, and as you can see, we've even lost a little bit more yield bonus. So once again, the earlier you can get to it, the better it is going to be. And we are going to go ahead and switch to the back and drop down. And again, you're going to see the weeder, the traditional weeder. You can see them white weeds. They are still staying there, not getting the weeds. And we will go over to this one. And we are going to lower the weeder, and you are going to see the same exact thing yet again. As you watch, the weeds don't go away. They come right back up. But then we go to the herbicide sprayer over here. We're going to turn it on, and you're going to watch, once again, these weeds kind of melt away a little bit. There you go, you can see it. And also note that the other two ran at 7, this runs at 16. Alright, so we're going to pop back out, and you can see a little bit of yield is back, again from doing the weeding. And now we are going to go to June, or July, for the harvest. Alright, so we are at the harvest. Just so people are sure, you can see, again, not getting the weeds. They are the green ones there. Not getting it. Let's go over to the Weeder Hoe. And as you can see again, as we go forward, there is... can't get the weeds like we, as expected, right? Now we're going to switch over to the sprayer, and we're going to start going here. Hopefully I moved them out far enough. And as you can see now, during the harvest, even the herbicide is not effective. So you want to make sure, not only do you want to get it before harvest, because it's too late to get rid of weeds at harvest, but you want to get rid of them as early as possible to not affect your yield. Anyway, guys, the other thing we want to talk about is which is better. Okay, for those of you who are making the argument for plows, that plows don't allow weeds after you plow the field, very quickly, you can see the biggest plow in the game is 6 meters and works at 7 miles an hour. And for subsoilers that do a very similar thing, right here, again, 8 meters, 7 miles an hour. And as you can see here, the weeders, that is much worse than even the weeders, because if you go into the weeders, they are 9 miles an hour and 7, and 15.2 and 7. So they're both bigger, and you don't lose your mulching, because when you plow, you'll lose your mulching bonus if that is something that you do. And then if you look over here, the crop protection sprayers, so these are the sprayer category, they both function at 15 miles an hour and are 3 times bigger than the next competitor on this weeding talk. So easily by far, the early game, these weeders will work for you, but eventually you're going to want to get into a sprayer or a big one, because you can get these sprayers right here. They're very cheap. You can get these early game, so you want to get these. Again, these are 24 wide. They're way wider than the other weeders, and you can use them all the way till right before the harvest. So pretty clear the herbicide sprayers are the winner on the debate, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit about the weeds, because we basically went everything you need to know about weeding in the game. So hopefully you have a great day, and we'll see you next time, folks.